Hey everyone, Greg here. As you may know by now, I'm the co-founder and CEO of TripShock, an online reseller for water sports and tours. For the past 12 years, we've had the pleasure of working with hundreds of operators across the country, and we're looking to grow our community. It's free to sign up, and you only pay when we bring you confirmed bookings. We'll help you reach new customers, fill empty seats, and grow your business like so many have done with us over the years. Head over to partners.tripshock.com to learn more about our program, read testimonials, or speak directly with our supply team. As always, thank you for listening and enjoy the show. Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 75 of the Awkward Watersport Guys podcast, and we are back.
Boom, we are back.
And Kevin is alive and well and feeling great.
Yeah.
And he's back to his old self, ready to wreak havoc.
Yeah, I'm 100% back to me, dude. Let's, you know what I mean? Let's go out. Let's like party, do some shots, man. Like get into a fist fight brawl. That there's just there's a whole new set of rules.
Baby aspirin, ibuprofen. Let's just go wild.
No ibuprofen. You cannot take NSAIDs when you have a bad ticker, man. No, listen. Like the next fight I get into, it's gonna be like I'm be like, all right, man. You'll be like. You know, like let's throw down. I'm like, okay, few things though. You can't touch me on the left side of my body. All right, let's throw down. Wait a minute, hold on. Don't punch me too hard in my head because I got a blood clot. I could have a stroke. Okay, you guys ready? Let's do this. Wait, time out. Don't kick me in the balls because I just had a vasectomy. That'll be my fight rules. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I can't fight it. I don't think I can get into bar brawls anymore, man. Yeah. So, first of all, I just want to say thanks to everybody that reached out. The community was like pretty crazy, man. Shouts out to the everybody in the group, everybody, you know, the show that showed love, man. Like there was like literally I got emails. You know, I got text messages. It was a real tough spot for me for a few days there, man. You know, for the last month, really. I'm currently at home, you know, so excuse the sound. I haven't really spent a ton of time at work or in the office and stuff. I've just been kind of like, you know, getting my head back together. Yeah. So long story short, I had a bunch of symptoms, and in true knucklehead Kevin fashion, I just ignored them, you know. I thought I hurt myself in the gym, and I was having some pretty bad pain in my shoulders. I know a lot of you guys out there listening are around my age, older. And again, I'm not like coming sermon on the mount or anything. Cause to be honest, I really don't drink that much. I wasn't drinking for a long time at all. I was go to the gym all the time, and I run, and I do like a lot of cardio, and, you know, I'm pretty active at 43. And I had a big blockage in my it's LAD, like left artery, whatever, the big one, the big valve. And it's commonly referred to as a widowmaker. My wife, bless her heart, talked me into going to the hospital when like I guess it could be argued I probably had 3 or 4 significant cardiac events leading up to this. Because honestly, I wasn't in that much pain when they took me to the hospital. You know, the doctor looked at me and he goes, you're having a heart attack. And I went, I was like currently, like now, like not like a few days ago, or I'm about to, like I'm having one now. And they're like rigging me up at this. Like there's nurses around me. I'm like, hey, what is that? They're like morphine. And I'm just like, what? Like, what is happening right now? And they're like, yeah, we're gonna life flight you to Pensacola Baptist. And my wife and son were out in the waiting room, and my wife was like, after 10 minutes, she knew I was having a heart attack because she works in an ER, and she's seen a ton of heart attacks come through. And she was like, yeah, you know, I kind of assumed you're having a heart attack. And then she's like, I saw the helicopter come in, and she was like already in the car with Atlas going to the hospital, because she was like, once I saw the helicopter, I knew it was for you. So they life flighted me, brought me to emergency surgery. I was like from ER out of surgery in probably under an hour. And they didn't like crack open my chest or anything like that. I just had the bad genetics, man. It was like a 95 to 99% blockage. They were able to put a stent in, and they saved my life, and I almost died. You know, initially when Greg and I talked about this, I was like, I wasn't even really sure that I wanted to necessarily address it because I've just been trying to like sort of come to grips with like when you have a heart attack, and especially if you're younger, but anybody really, you have a heart attack, like it's like it just comes out of the blue, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's one of those things where it's like life changing, life affirming. It puts a perspective, it puts gratitude, but it also puts like a level of depression, because now every time I have a gas bubble, you know, is it a heart attack? Every time I have an anxiety or I get stressed out, is it a heart attack? You know what I mean? I have pain still in my arm from my like injury related. Like that was the thing. I had an injury in my left arm and I mistaked a heart attack for injury in my shoulder. And so now I'm like, it's like, it's this kind of thing that sort of overshadows everything you do for a while. And luckily I'm, you know, and we're doing the show today because I'm rounding that corner and I'm feeling better and I'm feeling like myself, and I'm not scared of my own shadow or feel frail or feel like feel like sort of like a shadow version of yourself, which is what happens, you know, to almost everybody, because you just feel like, oh my God, my life just changed overnight. So with that being said, you know, I am slowly coming back to me and realizing I can do stuff when I'm, you know, my doctors have been saying good things and I'm like going to make a recovery, and I'm not through the forest yet. I still got a couple of things that, you know, because I waited so long, that I have to address, and some medications I got to be on for like a year, potentially the rest of my life, potentially not. You know, diet and exercise can solve a lot. And I've always preached that to everybody: diet and exercise, diet and exercise, diet and exercise. And this was so wild, man. Like I'm in a group called Cardiac Athletes on Facebook. And it's all these people, man, that were like most of them marathon runners, oddly enough. I was like, does anybody lift weights in this room? And it's like, they all like cardio people, and they have a heart attack. And there's a frustration, I think, that comes with that, because you're like, what? Like I was doing everything right, you know, but at the same point in time, there's many years I didn't. So long story short, I just, I'm good. I'm back. Hopefully I'll be around for a lot longer. And, again, I just really want to thank everybody who's been in my corner and reached out and had anything to say to me. It's been a journey, man. So it's good to be back.
Hey everyone, we're going to take a quick break to talk about our sponsor for the month, the Von Mack Agency. Von Mack is a full-service digital marketing agency with a focus on tour and activity operators. They offer it all: SEO, websites, pay-per-clicks, logos, content writing. If it's online marketing, they got you covered. As we mentioned before, it's uber important to hire an agency that understands our industry, and the Von Mack Agency knows water sports. Trust me.
And they do all the shit that you don't want to do. They do all the shit that you're probably not very good at, and they are. Look, for listeners of the show, America herself is giving a free consult, all right? If nothing else, give her a shout, give her a call, take 30 minutes out of your day. More importantly, take 30 minutes out of her day so she can get you straight on your marketing needs.
That's right. What do you have to lose? Head to vonmackagency.com and go to the Contact Us page to get started. Again, vonmackagency.com. And most importantly, let them know you were sent by the AWG guys. All right, let's get back to the show.
Yeah, it's good to have you back. And we talk religiously on the show about physical and mental health, you know, keeping yourself taken care of. Like you actually take care of yourself very well. And it still happened, right? Yeah. And I mean, I know captains and people working in this industry that are working 16-hour days in the sun, and then they drink a lot. And, you know, it's your body, your lifestyle. But I mean, if you want to be living here a long time and avoiding things like that, I mean, we have to step back and take care of ourselves.
Yeah, you know? Man, there's got to be a balance, man. Like I was going so hard for this season for 2022 with the new location, with the pullback that we've seen. You know, I had gone right back into like founder mode. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like I went right back into 16-hour work days. I mean, and I have been grinding, man, you know, from setting up the docks to purchasing new equipment to retraining our staff to dialing it in, you know, and this is what a great segue into 2022, right? It's like what we really want to talk about is like what 2022 has been like for everybody. Mm-hmm. And man, I was so like when I had my heart attack, I mean, it couldn't have been more stereotypical, you know, somebody like a kid, no called, no showed. So there was something in an email that I saw, like at once it was like a 1-2, and my wife was like mad at me about something about the kids in the house, and I was in my office and I was like, ah, you know what I mean? Like, son of a bitch, motherfucker! Like I was like fucking pissed off. I'm like slamming doors. I'm like, sucking motherfucker. And then it was like literally, I was like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like, because when you see me get like fired up about something, like you guys don't see us on video, but when I'm loud, like my veins start popping out in my head, my veins pop out in my neck, my face gets bright red. And it's real funny. It's like me and Steve Edwards were talking, like for the last 2 weeks, he's like, dude, you were going to fucking die if you don't like calm down, dude. If you don't slow down and calm down, like I don't want to be at your funeral, bro. And like you and him were like two of the first people that I talked to. Like, I mean, you and I were on the phone. Like Greg, I think felt like I was like calling in sick or something, man. He was like, Kevin, because it was Monday, we were supposed to have a podcast.
Yeah, we had 5 shows lined up that day.
Yeah.
And you messaged me and you said, I think I'm having a heart attack. And I'm just like, what is he trying to pull?
You're like, Kevin, we have shout outs.
Is he
and I'm like, no, dude, I'm going into surgery right now. And it was like, oh, Kevin, like it was like I could just feel like I could feel like the blood drain from your face in that tack. Because it literally was just like, oh, Kevin, I'm sorry. Like, because like literally you were like one of the last people I talked to, like right before I went to the hospital. And then I talked to Steve and like right after, and I was like, yeah, so you weren't lying, dude. Like, I mean, I actually had a heart attack. He's like, shut the fuck up. And I'm like, no, dude, it's like seriously. So, I mean, I definitely, I don't know if it's a 95%, 98% blockage removed from my heart or the actual event. But I mean, I have 100% dialed back. I'm like, I mean, because I sweat the small stuff. I do. Like, I am a detail-oriented person when it comes to my business. Every review, our marketing, operations, safety, like there's a reason why I do this show. And it's because I deeply care about my business and I deeply care about my industry. And man, I am in it. You know what I mean? Like, and so after this happened, I mean, somebody called me up with something. I'm like, okay. But to be fair, I was in ICU 3 hours post heart attack, and I was calling my staff, and I was like, I'm getting a notification about a boat going out into the Gulf of Mexico. How the hell am I having a heart attack? And I'm the first one seeing this. Like, I was on the phone with my manager. He's like, like, it's my dying fucking breath. Get that fucking boat out of the fucking Gulf. Ding! I got the alert on my phone, man. My doctor comes like, what are you doing? I'm like, a boat out in the Gulf. And they're like, no, shut your phone off.
So 2022, this has been quite the year. I've never fielded as many phone calls from operators about what the hell's going on and why we're just getting hammered. I mean, from just a booking standpoint, in a bad way, I should say, hammered in a bad way. And, I've gotten, I mean, it's not just Northwest Florida. It's everywhere. It's Key West, it's Myrtle Beach, it's New York. I mean, it is every single place. California. It is every area is getting hit. And there's a lot of things that come into play. I don't know, Kevin, where do you want to, because I can talk about kind of the data that we're seeing, from Trip Shock and kind of make sense of some of the things we're seeing. Now, I can't tell exactly why this is, but there's a lot of reasons for why it's
you let me know, man, because we made a lot of bold predictions a few months ago. So
we did. We made some bold predictions about
now we gotta walk that back.
And now we definitely got to walk that back. But then again, when we made those, a lot of this is due to the war in Russia and Ukraine, and that is causing global markets to go in a tailspin. But I mean, aside from that, with all the money that came in the economy last year, we had to understand that inflation was going to follow this. I mean, a shitload of money, the PPP money. Oh my God, like so much money put into our economy, and it was spent, right? Like we benefited last year greatly. I mean, I don't know about you, but my business doubled in sales from 2019 to 2021. That is not typical. Maybe in the early days we would double and triple year over year because that's usually what new businesses do. But that's just unheard of. So, This year we are doing, our business is kind of in the middle between 2019 and 2021. It's funny because like this month so far, our sales are like 30 to 40% more than 2019, but like 40, 50% less than 2021. That's how big of a gap there was in sales between those 2 years, because it was just amazing. Now, looking at May, especially the beginning of May, end of April, most destinations experience this lull because people, kids go back to school from spring break and Easter. And then, you're waiting for summer to kick in for the families to start traveling again. We have noticed that last minute reservations have upticked about 10 points. And I mean, we're talking like super last minute reservations. And I think a lot of that has to do with just the economy where we're at. Did people don't have the money they had previously? And this is just me pontificating here. I'm using one of Kevin's words, just based on what I feel and what I believe. But, last year we had the child tax credit that was $300 a month. You had the stimulus payments, $1,400 per adult. You had PPP money. You had children that were not in school yet. So kids were remote learning. Parents were working from home, the remote work. So people had more flexibility and a lot more disposable income last year. Yeah. So they could just go to travel. And plus, between Easter and Memorial Day, rates are super cheap around here. So why not come and travel then? Weather's great in early May. Save. Kids, can do remote learning, and instead of going in the summer and spend 3 to 4 times more on your vacation. So
I think has to do with like the home prices too. So I've been looking for a short-term rental forever. And I'm like, in Florida, like this market is ridiculous. There is nothing left on the bone at all if you're an investor. And that increase, I mean, you got to be asking for $500 a night. You know
Vacation
what I mean? Like
rental prices are outrageous this year. They were bad last year.
What does that leave terrible. Disposable income wise if you're on a vacation and you have a budget for that vacation, and the budget just doubled to get here? If it's a drive-in market, if it's a fly-in market, I mean, it's not like gas prices are affecting planes too. So your travel costs are more, your accommodation costs are more. What does that leave at the end of the day for activities?
So let me ask you a question. Which activity do you think on TripShock, which activity do you think is doing the best this year?
Headboats.
Headboats, 100%. Headboats are absolutely crushing it this year. So boat tours, headboats are doing very, very well this year. Not only are they doing well from an occupancy standpoint, but most of them increased their prices and they're still selling well. So you got kind of both. So every market that we sell a multi-passenger boat tour, pretty much all of them are seeing year-over-year growth, with the exception of a few. But most were, and I'll tell you, last year, COVID was still somewhat prevalent. So people didn't want to be stuck on a headboat, right? So they're gravitating towards private experiences and rentals more. But this year, now you have less disposable income. You don't care much about COVID. You want to get it on the water as cheap as possible. And headboats also cover a wide swath of your demographic. So grandma and grandpa and baby can go on a slow boat tour. So they are doing very, very well this year. And honestly, I think for the next couple years, headboats are going to do well anywhere. So that's the biggest trend, honestly, is headboats doing well. And then we got last minute reservations. They're definitely more prevalent this year. Advanced reservations actually are pretty good. Have you noticed your advanced reservations? They haven't been bad. Summer's looking decent. I am concerned about fall and winter. I think fall and winter is going to be kind of like spring, slow. Yeah, I have no doubt that summer is going to be very good for those that do well in summer.
I feel like I could go out next year if I get about like $20 million. I could swoop up about 6 or 7 companies, man. Like everybody I talk to is just like riding high from 2021, man. And now it's like, man, no, fuck, I'm going to sell, fuck this, it's like, we move locations. So I was on high alert right from the very beginning. We were still in growth phase. You know what I mean? Like I was talking to our whole staff. I was planning for a downturn for Destiny Water Adventures. And so we really got in early with that mindset that we're going to dig in. We're going to work hard. We're going to fight for every review. We're going to fight for every booking. If the phone rings, if I can get, again, if you got 2 tickets on a headboat too, that's $80-$90. If your phone rings, and that's the thing, I think a lot of operators were on that high from 2021 where it's just like, I call your call centers, guys. Like, I want to get this out there. I call your call centers. I listen to your phone people. And they act like there's 10 people standing in line behind me to book their tour. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to name companies. But when we got into this season and I started talking to them, I'm like, you know what, man, I'm going to call some companies that I know do a really good job. Then I was like, holy shit, they actually are not doing a good job. These people do not want to be on the phone. Because we started auditing our calls and I started hearing the same thing. Mm-hmm. And I told everybody, I said, when somebody calls this call, that's $80. I don't care if it takes 20 minutes. Do you know how many people in the world make $160 an hour? If they hang you up for 30 minutes to make an $80 sale, you make it, man. You're getting paid whatever it is, $16-17 an hour. Your job is not to get off the phone and look at TikTok. You keep them on the phone or you get their contact information and we follow back up with them. And I think that's a problem with this industry. Sometimes everybody sits back on their laurels because it's like, oh, well, we've got so much, there's so many calls so many bookings. Like, are you digging deep? Like, why are people exiting? Where are people exiting on your page? Like, I really got into that again. I kind of took a break from it last year because 2021, you could
do anything last year and sell. Like, you could pick up the phone and say, yeah, I have availability. All right, let me book it. Like, it literally, you could do no wrong last year because there was just so much demand and we got a little lazy, I think. I mean, even with Trip Shock, I'm not going to lie, like, we got a little lazy with our marketing because everything was working. The numbers, the metrics this year, the same thing did not work last year. We're having to be a little more creative. So I did have a call with an operator in Orange Beach, and he runs parasail, jet skis. He pretty much does it all over there. And he was telling me that parasailing, jet skis, boat rentals have not performed well. He said it's probably a combination of, the price, but also the weather. Weather has not been kind this year too. It's been pretty rough.
And it's been in South Florida too. Like that, like I just, I talk with Donnie from Sunset and he's just like, man, he's like, it's not a day that's not like 25 mile an hour winds. Like the Gulf is it's been horrible, man. Like, I don't know what it's like. I talked to an operator today from San Diego and he said that they were like sort of keeping up with 2021, like barely, you know what I mean? Like that. But again, every single tool that they have, everything in their arsenal that they can do, they're trying to hold. And again, this guy, the operator has been in business for 30 years or whatever. And you know what I mean? We didn't get super deep into it, but he's like, yeah, it's definitely not 2021.
And we had a 13% cancellation rate in March. That's the highest we've ever had.
I feel like that was 100% weather related, and it has not stopped. Like, we had a little bit of a break for a few weeks, man, but it has been that a low pressure system just came from out of nowhere. It's going to batter us tomorrow and the next day again. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've been paying attention to that, but get ready for more cancellations because we got about 4 inches of rain over the next 2 days. But yeah, I mean, March was brutal, man. Like it did not get warm until almost April.
And then it got too warm and rain.
Yeah, but then it got rainy, man. It got rainy, so it went from being really cold to rainy.
We're dealing with things that are not under our control here, like the economy, weather. I mean, it really, you're having to pivot in multiple different ways. I mean, all I can do right now for my company is make sure, just like what you are doing, making sure that every call we get, every website click we get, that we're doing our best to convert that one person, because there's not as many of them. Guys, there's not as many people searching. All right. Like, all the data that I have is clear that there's a lot less people searching for your products. So you're going to have to do a better job when people call and people book, or people are about to book, or they're searching. So look on your website, make sure everything's clear, make sure you have great pictures, because you're going to have to do a better job than you have like last year. Doesn't matter what you had. You could be using a PayPal buy button and probably still sold out. It didn't matter. This year, it's a completely different dynamic, especially if you're in a competitive market.
And I'll tell you what, man, I will say one thing. And I really, when I said it, I just wanted to present the other side of it. So last year's conference, when Doug asked branding or marketing, and I said branding, I kind of like 50-50 believed what I was saying, because it's hard, man. For one day you talk to me, I'm a digital marketing guy. I love making money at night. You know what I mean? I think it's the greatest thing in the world. If I don't have to talk to somebody and I can convert them, I think that's awesome. But I'm also a sales guy. You know what I mean? Like, I talk on this show, we go to events. I'm a chatty guy. I am a sales guy. I said branding, but when I looked at our numbers this year, when I looked at direct search of people that were putting our company's name into their search box, it was almost 1/3 of our traffic. And I mean, we try to be consistent across every single channel we try to always stay on message, always stay on brand. But it was very telling for me. There is a lot of meat on the bone if I was Destin Pontoon Rentals. It's not memorable. You know what I mean? And I have some other assets that I've gone branding first or marketing first. But in the long run, in the long game, guys, you've got to stay on brand. Like, that is the one thing that and not that we're super like Destiny Water Adventures, because there is a company out here, they're Destin Water Adventures, you know what I mean? But we do pump it out.
Yeah, don't name your company basic nouns. Like Destination Rentals or whatever. Be unique, because 3-4 years down the road, anybody can. So here's a good example. Like, let's say that you owned like Myrtle Beach Pontoon Rentals. What if someone bought Myrtle Beach Pontoons Rental, or like some abbreviation of it, and tried to use that to market? It's very confusing. Don't even put another competitor. Don't let another competitor have an opportunity to even squat on your brand by naming it something generic, because you're just opening yourself up.
So I'm not going to like get into the specifics of it, and I'm not going to name names, but like, we had somebody that had a really, and it's like fair use, like, look, man, if you are McDonald's, okay, you can be McDonald's landscaping. What you cannot be is McDonald's hamburgers, but you can be hamburger restaurant if you want, but that falls under fair use. You're not going to sue anybody or win that battle or stop Google from advertising hamburger restaurant. It's a very generic term. Like, it's fair use copyright. So when you do that, you paint yourself into a bucket, or paint yourself into a corner rather, that allows you for people to brand jack you unknowingly, because it's so common. If I'm like bookseller.com or like, buybooks.com, and somebody puts that in their search, you know what I mean? They're going to get 100 different, I mean, I'm using a terrible analogy,
you're making,
saying,
I totally understand where you're going with it.
So now, to be fair though, too, if you're the only player in that market, and here's why I'm going to play devil's advocate on that, it's difficult because you automatically get, Google still gives you priority in the map pack, and it gives you priority in the SERPs, which really sucks. If I was Destiny Pontoon Rentals, and that was the big keyword of the day, and that was the keyword that everyone was looking for, I would get priority.
Yeah.
And it is again, there's even people that have been late to the game that get me in the map pack, and it is the most frustrating damn thing ever. But at the same point in time, if you are, fucking Texas or fucking, I don't know, Detroit boat rentals, I'm trying to like stay away from something that I know, you know what I mean? That there's a good possibility it's not going to be memorable. You know what I mean? That person's not going to remember the name. Like when we were dealing with that whole party thing, and I was talking to those kids, man, I said, I'm like, where'd you get your boats from? And he couldn't even like tell me. I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, you see me, I'm Destiny Water Adventures. You just see me, and then there's Destin Pontoon Rentals. There's Adventure Destin Watersports. There's, Destin Boat House. You know what I mean? All these different things. I was like, so when you see a pool, when you see marketing, you just see me as like another boat rental, even though I feel like I do have a little bit of a better branding message. Mm-hmm. But, we'll shout out Jason, Extreme H2O. I mean, that's something you can put in your search bar, and you're just going to put that in there. Extreme H2O. They're not Extreme Water Sports. They're not H2O Water Sports. They're Extreme H2O.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I bet he gets thousands of searches every month. Direct because he built a brand. And but here, if he was Destin Jet Ski Rentals, man, that's a nightmare. Right. If someone types that in, there's going to be so many people, searching for those and competing that he's not going to get his direct business. He's he's giving his direct business away because he made his name too generic. So and then that really flush market, that's great, right? Because they're searching everything they can. Destin Jet Ski Rental, you pop up in the map. That's the first person you call just because it popped up, because you're furiously trying to find product. But now there's product everywhere. Yeah. So what sets you aside? Do you have good branding? Do you have good message? Do you have good reviews? Are you across channels? Good reviews. Are you good reviews on your OTA? Are you at the top of the heap of your OTA? Is your content really great? Is your content up to date on your social? Is the whole entire package good? Because now we are in a buyer's economy, not a seller's economy. Last year was a seller's economy. Now we're in there. Now they are picking. Now they are choosing. Now, if you're not fighting for the business, if you're hanging that phone up, and they call me, I'm not hanging the phone up. My staff isn't hanging the phone up. If they leave our website, we're going to try and remarket to them. Well, I guess depending on what software we're using. I had that conversation today. Fair Harbor, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, hit some remarketing. But I mean, it's definitely a conversation that we've had internally, because it's like, well, what about all these calls that we lost last year? When it'll turn again. It's not going to be like this forever. We'll go back into there'll be another golden year where all you have to do is say jet ski and fucking everybody will fall all over themselves to rent your jet skis, and you'd be completely sold out. And what are you doing with all those missed opportunities? Yeah. Well, see you later. There's 10 people standing behind you. Oh, well, awesome, man. I'm going to be saying like, yeah, come on over to me. Let me put you in my CRM. You know what I mean? Let's see what we can do for you. Let me see if we can reach out to you. Let me see if we can find somebody. You know what I mean? No, we're sold out tomorrow, but we do have availability the next day. Low availability. Hey man, how can you convert? Like we talk about digital marketing all the time, but at the same point in time, there's a ton of missed opportunities on the phone calls or emails or messages through Facebook. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, how hard are you going after each one of those, especially when you're, if we're talking to somebody right now that's doing $250,000 a year plus, I mean, it's hard. You know what I mean? Like $100 isn't $100. You're not the same guy on the other end of the phone that had 4 jet skis that was doing $80,000 and every single dollar mattered, as you start to scale. Mm-hmm. And this is what I tell all of my phone people. I'm like, look, man, I don't care how much we do in gross. Like, we are getting eaten alive on our bottom line because gas prices have gone up. Same labor, that's gone up. If you're in the state of Florida, you're paying $15 an hour minimum, and then you're competing with Whataburger, who's paying $18. Yeah, we have at least gone up 10% on our labor this year, at least.
I've gone up a lot more than
well,
that.
I'm just on our call center.
Yep. And then on top of it, like, man, the bonus starts like, man, we take care of our people, man.
Yeah.
And guess how we take care of our people? We incentivize them. You have to incentivize them. So our bottom line's shrinking because you have to pay more. You have to incentivize more. You have to pay more for marketing because everyone's listening to Awkward Watersports Guys and doing what we're telling them to do.
Yeah.
You have to pay more for slips, more for gas. Like everything has gone up. So now you have a shrinking market. You have less demand.
And prices have gone down too. I've noticed the rental prices are not where they were this time last year.
No, everybody swung for the fences.
Yeah, we did. And I saw a lot of prices reduced in the past week or two. So gas is high, labor's high, prices are lower.
That's craziness though, man. Like immediately running to decrease your product. I mean, that is not the answer. And we talked about this.
It is an answer, but in the context of what's happening now, I think everybody expected volume to be more, and that's why the prices were pre-programmed the summer prices were basically poised to start earlier this year from most operators that we work with. And instead they prolonged the spring pricing because just the volume and the demand wasn't there. So I understand that move. If it was like middle of summer and the demand was there and you were lowering your price, then that's where I kind of have a problem with. But I can understand the reasoning for the price decreases because
it depends, man. Like how out of line are you with the market? Like if you're talking about like Destin downtown in the harbor, like, you know what I mean? Like some of these guys they were like off the reservation, dude. You know what I mean? And again, it's gotta be like, there's gotta be some kind of value prop there a little bit. You know what I mean? Just because you're in the great location, like it doesn't mean shit to anybody, guys. Mm-hmm. Like I hate to say this, but your value prop is not where you're located. Those of you guys that are out there, they're like, oh yeah, we want everybody to see the sale. They see the sale on their phone, man. This is not 1994. Like I am going to go down the road and get a great steak because I can't, in fact, I'm not even going to walk down the beach to your beach hut that's got crummy fish tacos because I see that you have a 3.8, that you want $20 a plate simply because where you're located. You know what I mean? Like people don't live in that world anymore. People live inside their phones. Look at your screen time. It's sad. But look at your screen time. Look at your kids' screen time. They're making the decision on the phone. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be price, and it's going to be product, and it's going to be value. Nobody gives a shit that you're in the middle of town. It doesn't mean anything. I would drive an hour away for a better steak, for better service, because everybody's like, this is the best place in town. Done. Yeah. We live in a world now where you can buy JPEGs for hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm not bagging on NFTs, Greg, but simply because of clout, because of social currency. Social currency is everything. We have created an actual currency around it. And I don't want to pontificate and get too much, but the market is changing. The buyers changing. Buyer behavior changing. What they are purchases changing.
Yeah, 1 year. I mean, going from 2021 to 2022 is probably, as a business owner, this is going to be a real big challenge for a lot of you, especially those that are heavy into rentals and you're seeing the weather and the economy affect things. I'll tell you what, Kevin, going from 2020, so COVID, to 2021 and then back down, it's like this freaking going up a hill and then coming down the hill. That's kind of how it, or I wouldn't say coming down fully, but maybe coming down halfway. It's really a lot of.
I've worked in the service side in this industry for so long, Greg, and I've seen the attitudes of companies in water sports, and it's like it's no bueno, man. Like everybody like behaves this way. I see some of the worst customer service in our industry. Sometimes I go out and I do an activity and I do something and I'm just like, wow, man, that's fantastic. And other times, and I've worked industries and I've seen workers and people in our industry. And it's like, just because you live in a cool place, you might live in Hawaii and you might be over tourist. I got news for you, man. Get the fuck out of town. Go live in fucking Wisconsin then or something if you're over tourist. And I tell my crew that too. I understand getting burned out. But man, you could be on the back of a garbage truck. You could be twisting a wrench. Man, this is people's bucket list shit. And the owners of companies that allow that type of behavior and that feel that they can don't give a shit about the customer because, oh man, you know, my parasail boat sold out. And my fucking headboat sold out. Or I've got 20 boats. And I've seen it, man. It is so prevalent in this industry.
Yeah.
You know, because of these huge booms. Because this isn't the first time. And it's cyclical too. Panama City, Key West, Destin. You know what I mean? These places get blown up and they become the place for spring break or the place for summer for a couple of years. And nobody can do any wrong. And everyone's like, whoa, geez, how do I hold on to the customer? How do I bring this customer back year after year? Well, how does Disney do it?
Yeah.
Service,
Disney actually has
value,
record reservations for summer this year. Now they're unveiling a couple big attractions, so that's probably helping.
Service and value, man.
Yeah.
Again, they're not resting. They're like, people are going to come to fucking, Avatar, Star Wars. Like, what more do these people need to do? They keep on doing it because they realize service and value. Obviously, service, they knock it out of the park, but value, it's like, all right, well, I did Star Wars. I did this. I'll go do them again. I'll come back. But what's going to keep bringing me back?
They're bringing, the value. They're bringing new attractions. Yeah. You know, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's much value in that. Why I feel like, even though we constantly, if like you opened up a headboat, would that be the reason someone comes back to Destin? Probably not. But that's why the destinations itself need to create new opportunities for people to come back. You know, I don't know what that is, but the destinations and businesses working together to create different experiences for people so they want to come back instead of giving them the same thing year after year. Like maybe it's a new big tour provider or a new big show comes into town or something along those lines.
But I think too, though, depending on like what your bag is, dude, some people love the water, man. Like they just want to be on the water every vacation they go to, man. Every year we want to rent a boat. Every year we live for the beach, man. Yeah, we see it time and time and time again. Destin has fans just like you and me are fanboys of Disney. Key West has fans that will just always return, always come back because they're drawn to it. Are they going to be drawn to your accommodation, your hotel, your tour, your boat rental, your activity? And again, like as Greg said, yes, are you innovating? Are you adding new things? I guarantee you that if we offer a new product, because I've converted day of play to boat rentals. I've converted boat rentals to day of play. We've cross-marketed, got people to come back because they're like, man, we decommoditize every chance we get. I do not look at my boat rental as a commodity for these people. We make it experiential. So they come back. And if we do have something new, hey guys, come on back. Come check out our new location. Come grab some free beach chairs. Yeah, go take a kayak out. It's just sitting there by all means, please. We had storms hit the other day. My guys were calling to tell them to come ride it back at the islands. I said, tell them to come ride it out at our beach, bro. Our beach is great. You know what I mean? Have them anchor up right out in front of our little beach. We got beach chairs for them. We got kayaks. Bring them back. And I don't know if they come back and want to have a couple beers and hang out at our location. Boom. How can we make what we have experiential? And every single aspect you have. And right now, here's where you get creative. Here's where you dig deep. Yeah. Here's where you how to make your commodity-based business branded, experiential, coming back for more. Not just the family-friendly, not just the kissing their ass and shaking their hand, but if you've listened to this show 75 times, you've heard me say it 75 times from the beginning to post-tour. What are you doing to make sure that the entire end-to-end experience has been something memorable. Because when they do come back or their friends come, you don't even have to fight them with Google, with social, with anything else. And your cost to acquire is zero because now they're your customer. Their cousins are your customers. Their friends are your customers because they remember you. You're not Bob's Pontoon Boat Rentals. I'll use my shit. Your Destiny Water Adventures. And your tenants and your culture, top down, all the way down to the guy who sweeps the lot. Experiential value over and over again. You'll make it through a downturn, no problem. And you'll live to fight another day and you'll grow. I promise you.
Nice.
I think. Let me get through 2022 before I do any victory laps.
So let's talk. We only have a few more minutes here, but really quick, we are on schedule to have our 2022 Water Sport and Boat Tour Operators Conference. We're going to have it back at the Rosen Plaza. The only difference this year is it's going to be 2 days instead of one. And basically, we had a lot of feedback from people that they just wanted more. They just thought that we could be adding more, and we're going to do that. So Kevin and I are going to be putting together the program here in the next week or so. We might not have all the speakers and presenters, but we're going to have a good outline of the agenda. We're going to get some feedback from some of y'all. But we're going to put together an extremely good conference that's about the operator. It's going to be operator first.
Yeah. Can I jump in? I'm really excited. I'm really excited about this. And I'm really excited about it because, this is not me pitching, guys. Like, I know you look at the neck tattoos, the squirrely beard, the uncut hair, you think, man, Kevin is Awkward Watersports paid, man. Like, him and Greg are just rolling in cash from their 60-person conference and 500-person group. But spoiler alert, we're not. Like, we do this because we love the industry and we love the network and we love the business, okay? But I am super excited and I'm super pumped for this because 2022 is going to be a bitch of a year. So 2021, we talked about how great everything was. 2022, you're going to have a lot more questions, right? Because now what do I do in a downturn? Greg, Kevin, how can we make the most out of a downturn? What can we do in a downturn? And I promise you, like, whatever lessons, and we're all about to learn them. We just learned them over the first quarter. We're going to learn some more in the second quarter. We're really going to learn some in the third quarter. All right. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but I don't know what's tickets going to be. 100, 200, 900. How much are tickets? Do we even know yet?
So first of all, the dates are going to be the 26th of September and the 27th. So for those, a lot of y'all that come or go to Arrival's in October, like late October, I think. We wanted to have it well before then so people have time to recuperate for it. But it's September 26th and 27th. So you show up on usually Sunday the 25th, and then you stay for a few days.
I am pitching here, and you're killing my pitch, man. How much are tickets, Greg?
We're having an early bird pricing of $150, and that includes...
All right, let me stop. Let me stop you there. Hold on. $150, all right? Maybe it's, and then the later tickets, 180, one it's 90 or 200. I don't give a shit. Whatever this ticket is between 150 and 200 or $250 yet, I wanted to cut Greg off there because at $150, we're about to learn a whole lot, and we're going to share all that with you. And the people that are going to be speaking at this will not be their first downturn. And this is not my first downturn. It's not Greg's first downturn. So last year we got to sing the praises of, hey man, what do you do when it's raining money? It was $150 to fucking go, hey, this is how you capitalize on a great year. This year it's going to be, how do we keep the well from leaking out from all these various leaks? And there's going to be so many great speakers and so much value and education that we're going to talk about from a tough year. And guess what? The bright side of this, most entrepreneurs that have really done well have been able to make things happen in a recession because the deals are going to be out there. Equipment, businesses, property. right now, if you were a good operator and you hold on to some money and you got some credit and you got some equity, this is going to be the year that we're going like, all right, man, this is how we capitalize and grow yet again. So, Greg, continue on. That's my pitch for this is going to be a good one.
That's great. So
and I could die at any minute. So, I mean, come on, guys. Any day I could have another heart attack. It would depend on weather for the next 3 months if I live or die. So it's going to be the last time.
So, so we're going to do an early bird ticket that is $150 per person. And it covers your meals for the event and the 2 days of the conference, cocktail hour. We are looking to have nightly events for Monday and Tuesday, maybe even Sunday. We're going to have a lot of stuff. And the second day, I hope that, we institute a lot of networking and a lot of one-on-one and a lot of smaller group learning opportunities. Kevin had a really great idea of maybe getting all the people that work with certain reservation systems and have different workshops led by, maybe one person in the group is considered like a Fair Harbor expert or a waiver expert, and they kind of can lead a group where everyone can talk about the system and how to get the most out of it and things like that. And I thought that was a phenomenal idea, like just helping us get better at what we do and having more of these small group workshops and meet up where there's no sales pitch. It's just operators helping operators. And we have some of the brightest minds really in water sports that are going to be coming to this. So we'll be having all the links and stuff coming out shortly. So just stay tuned, just check our Facebook page, but you definitely want to get the early bird pricing because after July 1st, it's going to go up to $200 a person. Still, it's going to be a great deal for the value you're going to get. But
because mostly, what we're going to talk about, guys, how to acquire customers in a downturn. And look, man, like this is where you dogfight it out. This is my favorite thing to talk about because I love a fight. I do. And that's what I feel like I'm in right now. I feel like I'm in a fucking fight. And I'm fighting to get my customers. And I want to share with you guys how Destiny Water Adventures gets it done. Make no mistake, we'll get it done one way or another, and then we'll share that information with you as long as you're not in my market. And so, Kevin, anybody from the Destin market, your tickets are going to be like $3,000, and you have to pay that to me.
It was funny, Kevin. You said something funny. You said, when we talked about you getting up and presenting about this very subject, you're like, okay, well, everyone from Destin Fort Walton's going to have to leave the room.
Yeah, we can hop on a private call, man, and Kevin's consultant will do you right. Like not that Destiny Water Adventures is a hit, you know what I mean? But we are dogfighting and we're acquiring and we're bringing back customers, and it's because of what I preach on this show because I do practice it.
Yeah, well, we're excited.
It's going to be a great year to come.
It's going to be a really good show.
It's going to be awesome.
A really good conference. So look forward to it. All right, well. We're at the end of the show. We are back. We're going to have a lot of interviews lined up here. So just get ready. Well, that's it. So,
all right, guys.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, keep it awkward.